First, we will pin the pocket on the main front part of the pants. We pin the curve of the slide pocket. We started pinning from the side seam. Now we are pinning the waistline corner. Then we begin pinning the shape of the curve of the slide pocket. Now this will be sewn together. First, we lock stitch the edge. We also lock stitch the end of the machine stitching. Now we will cut the excess of the sewing allowance. We will just leave 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter. Now we will cut snips with a distance of 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimeters. As you can see, this is the sewing allowance. This will be laid flat on the pocket. It will be sewn together on the side of the pocket so that this will be flat. When we sew the sewing allowance on the pocket side, it will follow the shape of the curve and this part will be flat. This area of the slide pocket will not be bulky. Here's the result of the top stitching that we did on the side of the pocket to flatten the sewing allowance. Okay, now we fold this way. We're pinning the main pants to the slide pocket. We're pinning this together and we're making sure that we're folding it at the very edge of the slide pocket. Now we will be sewing this together. From the edge of the slide pocket, the top stitch will be 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 centimeters away from the edge of the slide pocket. Okay, this is how the finished stitches will look. I can see that the stitches are a little puckered here, so we will just release the tension of the stitches this way. Okay. Now we will finish the bottom of the slide pocket by doing a French seam. First, we pin the corner of the bottom of the pocket with the wrong side facing each other, as you can see. We follow the curve of the bottom of the pocket. As you have seen, both sides have been lock stitched and the stitches are 1/8 of an inch or 0.3 of a centimeter away from the edge of the bottom of the pocket. We are cutting the bottom of the edge of the pocket so that it is evenly shaped. Since this is a French seam, we will be reversing this and finishing the bottom of the pocket by sewing on the other side. We sew 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter away from the edge of the bottom of the slide pocket. We can also use the sewing line to finish the French seam. The closer it is to the edge of the bottom of the pocket, the better. Then we flatten this by ironing or pressing this area so that this area of the pants will be permanently attached to the pocket. We will have to sew here on top of the waistline sewing line and the side seam sewing lines so that this will be permanently attached and not be moving when we sew together the other parts of the pants. So this is the pattern of the front part of our pants. And this is the pattern of the pocket. If we lay the slide pocket this way, we have to get the distance of this area of the slide pocket or pocket pattern. The distance should be the same as that of from here, the slide pocket, to the corner of the waistline and the hip line here. So if I measure the distance of this part of the slide pocket and actually the pants, this measures 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters. So from this corner of the waistline and the hip line, okay, as you can see, this also measures 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters. And we will stay stitch this area of the pocket to the waistline to permanently attach these together. And we will also be stay stitching here, following the side seam sewing line, so that the slide pocket will be permanently attached to the front pants. We are marking where the attachment should start. We have to follow the sewing line of the waistline on the pants and on the pocket. They should be aligned. There's no need to lock stitch this, as we will be attaching the waistband on this area. This time, we will be aligning the side seam line of the area of the pocket and the area of the main pants. We just sew this together so that the pocket is permanently attached and will not be moving around when we attach the part of the front pants to the part of the back pants. Now we are attaching the other slide pocket on the front of the pants. The same procedure is used. First, we attach the slide pocket on the curve of the pants and the pocket. Okay, now we will be cutting the excess of the sewing allowance, and we'll just be leaving 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter, so that the curve of the pocket can be easily followed later on. When we fold the slide pocket, we are snipping 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimeters apart on the sewing allowance. Okay, now we will sew the sewing allowance on the pocket side. This is to flatten the sewing allowances to the curve of the slide pocket. Following the curve of the slide pocket, we're pinning the pocket area on the front part of the pants. And we will top stitch this 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter away from the edge of the curve of the pocket. Again, to remove whatever pucker is visible, we release the tension of the stitches this way. Now, to finish the bottom of the pocket, we will do the French seam. The first stitch is 1/8 of an inch or 0.3 of a centimeter away from the edge of the pocket. Just make sure you're actually sewing the other side. You're sewing it together. If you want to make this easier, you can actually sew 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter away from the edge of the pocket, and then just cut the excess. Okay, we're actually cutting near the edge of the stitches, so that when we reverse the pocket, there's not much. This part, when we sew this together, there's no excess allowance seen on this area. Now we're completing the French seam sewing procedure. Now we're getting the corner of the side seam and the waistline, and the distance from the waistline to the start of the attachment of the slide pocket, as we will permanently attach the pocket to the front side of our pants. We're attaching the side seam sewing lines of the pocket and the pants so that this will be permanently attached by stitching them together. There's no need to lock stitch.